Well, it's time to kick off the lower bracket final. Fabriken and Prodigy, and the action's already starting. Boys, take it away.
Has already started, indeed. 5 frags going down, 3 in favor of the defending side, though. Pura at least cleans up 1 whilst going forward, and they will still start to head towards this B site as Leo comes out, but Leo again onto Pura will stop him from intruding his B site. Shadow comes in to clean things up, and that is going to be the opening round there. And I mean, this one could be a little bit of a blowout for sure, but that pistol round is certainly going to help out Fabriken here on the defensive side, because Prodigy opting to attack first, and Prodigy, who are very much the favorites coming into this series and coming into this map. But Prodigy looked good on split in previous times we've seen them, and if they had have won that pistol, then this could have been an absolute steamroll.
Yeah, and again, it's got to be a consideration. Fabriken are coming in hot after a victory over Party Parrots. Obviously, coming back into this series now, you'd expect them to try and carry that momentum over. Again, on the back of a couple of good performances. No Sage on the side of Fabriken. Something to note potentially is we're going to see a B execute come in here. I say an execute, an all-out rush. A couple of players locked out in heaven right now behind these sky smokes, but everybody now coming for the collapse for the retake. Leo, Latex, and Zipan will all find kills. Now in a 5v2, Leo will find a second, and it's just Pura who's got to tuck his tail and head back into garage. But he is not long for this world. The flashpoint comes out, and Meadow will pick himself up a Bulldog headshot, and that'll be a second round on the board for Fabriken. Pretty straightforward stuff on the 5-man garage rush.
Yeah, I mean, at least Prodigy were able to get the spike down. That's the main factor here, as now Fabriken take those same weapons into this next round. Still using the Marshall and the Spectres and a Bulldog. Actually, as I say, that Shadow is going to upgrade to a Judgy Boy. But still what should be a winnable round for Prodigy here. So it's whether Fabriken try and do something a little bit different. It does look like they are going to push heavily towards A here.
Okay.
They will be greeted by 2 players, but they're high up on the wall. Zipan gets 1 onto Pura. And Latex follows up getting the second, so the push has been successful, means they'll take the op off of Lucker as well. Turco has traded out onto Shadow, so it's still a 3 versus 3. But the damage certainly been done already to the economy.
Oh no.
Hip manages to find Zipan just strolling on in. It is just going to be Latex here. Does have the op. Misses with that one, and Hip will punish him for it. Prodigy put their first on the board, but losing 2 players isn't great for their economy, but the fact he's been able to rescue the op at least helps out there.
Again, though, I like that decision-making from Fabriken. They immediately make a play with the Spectres out on A main. They try and, damage limitation, get some of those guns off the board for Prodigy, go for an aggressive counterplay on defense. Prodigy with a fantastic response to it, obviously, to get their first round on the board, but I talked about this earlier. That's not something we've seen from Fabriken, which is that decisiveness, Dan, which is being proactive.
Well, Prodigy now with weapons in hand and around on the board. Are they going to be able to assert their dominance? Lucker, who all tournament long has been operating successfully. And there is the opening pick yet again. Shadow will fall. Latex will drop a couple of Sky Smokes to try and keep them out, but then Sky Smokes come from the other way just to ensure that they can get this spike down and take the site successfully. And for Prodigy, they've got the site, they've got the post-plant positions, they've got all the tools they need to win this round. It's just going to be a case of whether they can execute it. And Hip finding an op means that he can get one as well. And Fabriken saying, we don't want any of this. And they're just going to save these rifles, quite rightly so.
Yep, keep 3 alive. Make a play for the next round. Again, they don't want the economy to run away from them. There's a player over here in the defender's spawn. You can see Pura looking to try and clear this out, and actually Zipan going to find 2 of them. They're actually going to take 2 weapons off the table. Prodigy, and that's good work from Zipan. Again, trying to keep it on a level playing field. I don't know if we're going to see any sort of force up, because I really don't think... Actually, I'm not sure if we're still... Do we still have the bug with the armor icon on the scoreboard? I'm not sure if we do, Dan.
Yeah, if they've taken it from the previous round, then the armor sometimes doesn't show up.
So we do have weapons across the board and armor as well. So actually, very worthwhile keeping the three alive. I mean, from the previous.
Zipan has Showstopper available to him, and we've seen him hold this spot before as well. Gets the first, and it's whether he follows up with a Showstopper. No, he just backs off. Not wanting to give up too much here. Maybe feels like that Showstopper might be more important elsewhere, but here comes the Showstopper, but again, denied. Lâcher sending a bullet right through the crotch of Zipan. And Showstopper, lack of kill count goes up one more. And I remember the early days of when Raze came out, that Showstopper felt like no one could kill it. And every single time it would get a frag on the board, but people wise to it now, expecting the blast packs to eject someone out of a corner. Prodigy down to just the 3. They have been able to get themselves into B heaven here, Hypok.
Yeah, Lâcher with the patience to hold this angle on stairs, just waiting for somebody to slip up. You can see now Turco going to try and move up a little bit with him. Lâcher's going to drop the wall down there. Leo's going to find one headshot. Actually going to use the dismiss to break away from the danger, but Lâcher still finds an operator headshot as he backs up onto site. Spike will go down next to the box. A little aftershock coming through there. Shadow's actually going to find Lâcher with that. It's huge. That could make this retake a lot easier. It is a 1v3 for Rhyme. We've seen him come up clutch a few times. The wall still blocking stairs. Actually, no, it is broken, so he's going to have an opportunity to walk down here, but no utility to really deal with this without peeking out. And but actually, yeah, he's going to find one onto Meadow. He's going to pop the Showstopper. He's going to find a second, and actually the diffuser's off. Latex. He's actually going to shut him down. I thought there was a chance there where we was going to read into that, but invest in the shot. I mean, nearly pulled it off, Dan. It was a valiant attempt.
It was interesting he opted to go for the Showstopper shot on the member that he knew. Well, he saw him there, but me personally, when I'm popping out there, I'm instantly locking my crosshair to where that spike is being diffused. Maybe he would have just been drilled by the other player on site if he had done so, but very decent attempt from him. Shouldn't have had to really find himself in that situation, but you said the aftershock was sublime. Lâcher just held on through just to ensure they got the plant because they were late to the party getting that spike down. Lâcher boosts himself over, but he's hit by the stun. Latex can take him down, but there's just trades all over the place at the moment. Turco gets 2 of his own. Turco, yet again, just being a sheer driving force of this squad. What is it with people on Brimstone just being aim stars? Like, and why aren't they playing someone else?
Again, you know, Brimstone could be looked at as kind of the hard carry outside of the duelist roles. We're actually going to see Shadow get a freebie on Pora as he comes around to walk peek the bottom of A main. Now Rhyme going to head up, but he's going to be greeted by Latex if he's not careful here. As you see, he's going to peek round onto that. Spike will go down. Latex will find 2. Those are pretty easy for him, just peeking one by one. Now, 4 rounds to 2, and you can see now Prodigy, I mean, they're going to invest the armor onto Hip, it looks like, and maybe a Ghost, and there you go, a couple of other weapons popping up now. A Sheriff, maybe a Spectre or 2, and looking like we've actually got, I mean, they're going to be able to fall by next round anyway. But maybe going to look for something really hyper-aggressive here. Looks like it's going to be A as the option.
Yeah, all 5 of them there. Defensive line from the side of Fabriken, but it is an op that's going to be available for them. The Leah comes out just to block the vision. Insin does so much damage to everyone. Hip is going to pop Empress here and then get aggressive, but unfortunately walks straight into the bullet of Shadow. Ryan will be able to pick up that op as a reward for getting the kill with a Sheriff, though. as the spike down, and now the retake has to happen. Zipan has the Phantom to work with, but Pora not right through the corner of the wall. This is still winnable now for Prodigy, even with 2 players weak, but as I say, that Pora going down is going to be a real problem for them. The sheriff shots don't connect from Rhyme. Turco gets 1, but he will fall to Meadow. And Fabriken will get the defuse. A good effort from Prodigy considering what they had to work with in that round, but Fabriken again just holding strong.
It was unfortunate there. Obviously, Hip pops the Empress. He's down to about 20 HP. He's not the first person that's spotted coming out of the smoke, but almost baited to kind of push towards screens there and challenge. And he unfortunately falls to the operator. I think it was Shadow, right? Shadow was in screens with the operator. And like you said, it does get traded out, but I mean, if he gets that kill, we know how good the Empress ability is in terms of self-sustain. And we could have seen him pop off there.
If Prodigy don't win this one, I'm a little bit worried for them. They've opted to attack first, which I think is always a brave decision on split. Fabriken might be able to take advantage of this. Zipan gets the opener onto Turco, but Hip does look a lot more comfortable on the Reyna. We've seen him transition over to Raze a little bit as well. Does look best on Reyna. Just having the ability to heal up after every kill or reposition with a dismiss has been big for him. Prodigy will have to go back. They get the res, but what an orbital strike that's going to be. A very reactive one, recognizing the resurrect was a possibility and Latex completely denying it. But here comes Hip continuing on this bombardment of B Heaven. Gets his second of the round as Fabriken down to just 3 now, but Meadow can't get the double hold. Lucker is there to shoot him in the side. And now this spike will go down and Fabriken in a 2 versus 3. There is a Rolling Thunder to work with.
This is always a tough site to crack, though. And you can see that Cypher lurk again a factor in this one. A late wall going to block off defensive spawn entry. Pora playing time here. That's really nearly unfortunate timing there with that. Latex actually still going to come out worse off in that 1v1. Shadow going to bail away and hold on to his operator. Hip got to be careful here, actually. You don't want to be walk peeking that, especially without a weapon out. Oh, he catches the shoulder, but doesn't opt to fire. And now you're going to see they're try and collapse on him. Hip will lose his life and his weapon. Another peek possibly going to come out from screens this side. Pora going all the way down to sight, but I don't think anybody else is going to challenge, and I think that's the wise decision.
Yeah, I don't really want to sacrifice too much of their economy. But Prodigy back on the board with a 3rd. Would have looked quite tough for them if they had lost that round, so I'm sure they're going to be more than happy as Lucker gets back into things with the op. He's made such a difference in previous rounds in this tournament with constant entry frag with the operator and just repositioning and re-peeking from different angles. He's going to be holding an angle at A at the moment, but no one playing ball. It's just a 2-2-1 setup on the attacking side and a 3-2 setup on the defensive side. Guess you could say this is a 4-1 setup, actually, for Prodigy. They're very much looking like they're favoring a B push right now. But still with no one having a spike in hand, they're very much waiting to see whether Lucker was going to catch anything with the op, but the rotate will come through from him now. Back round to B. As time dwindles away, they'll start to be thinking about an execute. Here comes the showstopper. He's gone so far in the sky, not able to connect. Oh, actually, no. As I say that, Rhyme does fall to it. I didn't think he had connected, but apparently just enough. Hip gets 1. Lucker falls to Zipan, and Zipan...
That's fantastic.
Ongoing here. Zipan makes it 4. An incredible hold from him to make it 6-3 now to Fabriken.
Such a great play there from Zipan. And again, I think it was actually the counter showstopper coming out that put Rhyme down.
Yes.
And then picks himself up a 3-piece to follow on. Really good stuff. And you can see at 11 and 6, he's already having a fantastic game again. Zipan being the top fragger coming out of the open qualifiers and showing that he's continuing that form through the knockout stages, not just the group stages, Dan.
Back to the drawing board for Prodigy, and they're going to try and get this mid control, but this could be a peek with the Leah. Yeah, it's going to be Zipan taking the peek, and he gets a 3-man spray down. They just lined up for him there. Easy peasy when they don't have weapons to fire back at you as well. Pura is going to be the last remaining player. Just the marshal on him, so he's no real threat. And it's whether with this 1 minute and 10 seconds, Fabriken fancy hunting him down just to speed things up, or whether they'll say, actually, we've got the spike. We don't really need to worry about it.
I mean, the one person you don't want to go hunting is a lurker like Pura. He could be anywhere. He could be in any corner. See there, he's going to miss that one, but that's not a player I ever want to go hunting, Dan.
I mean, you're right. Pura is a beast. Has done so much in previous games today, but 7-3, and would Prodigy be happy with 9-3 here? Because they should surely be expecting to do more. Considering they chose to attack first, they've been like getting like 8-4s.
I mean, we haven't seen that same dominance in mid in this game, and that was a huge factor for Prodigy on Split previously. Rhyme having a slow game, and again, Latex there losing out to Lucka, a rare 1v1 with the operator loss. And I did say that, you know, if it's going to be a consideration to making this series of, you know, standout players not having the series they would expect, or is actually going to spot him in the cubby there, but not be able to land anything on him. And I mean, it's definitely a concern when Lucka's not hitting that this is the Prodigy we see.
Prodigy down to just 4. They're having to reposition, and again, they just haven't been able to get these early picks that we've seen them so successfully find in previous games, which is why they haven't found as much success going forward. I mean, even if this did end up as a 9-3, they can still come back. That's what Split has to offer. If you can come on a roll, like, as much as Split has offered a more attacking-heavy presence in this particular tournament, we're still under the impression that Split is still a defensive-sided map. Showstopper comes out as we hear a double fire in the hole.
Oh, echo.
Fires it into mailroom, but no kill found. Prodigy starting to run out of time here. 20 seconds, they have to make a move, and it is going to be A site they opt to go for. They do get the spray down, but Leo and Zipan hold true. Leo. Very dangerous on the Reyna, he seems to be.
Some Reyna on Reyna action there. Love to see it. And actually, you know, shout out to Leo. I said he had a really impressive performance on that previous ascent, and he's carried that through to this. 14, 6, and 7 on the Reyna on Split. And again, he's one of the players, I'd say, that had a slow few series previously, but it's fantastic to see him performing now when it absolutely matters.
A shoddy buy for Prodigy now going into the final round of the half. They are grouping up on A, but they walk straight into Latex's bullets yet again. Lucka not able to get an opening pick. Time and time again, Prodigy found themselves a player down. Shadow gets one through the smoke onto Pura. And when Pura and Lucka have been taken out of the equation, then you know that this round is going to be somewhat more comfortable. But Hip at least finds a frag onto Zipan. Allows him to overheal up to 150. Do Prodigy opt to go somewhere else now? Still a player down in 3 versus 4. Maybe they'll go for a little bit of a bait. Make some noise in sewers and then rotate back. But no, they're going to opt to go middle. And actually, there is a chance of entry onto B here if they time this right. 3 members over at A. If they wait too long, though, they could be flanked. Boombot will go out just to see if they can get any sort of information. Need to pop through the tripwire, which they do. There's going to be no one to greet them on the B site, so this is going to be a comfortable plant at the very least. The three-man rotate through the defensive spawn. And then just Meadow on his own up in heaven at the moment, seeing if he can pick anyone out to make this retake a little bit easier. They know where a couple of these players are, but Orbital Strike is going to force them out. Hip will take down Latex. Makes it a 3v3. Nah, Hip unfortunately not able to win that one. Leo, again, proving what a strong player he's been in this particular match. And he pushes on in, gets another, but here's Rhyme now in a 1 versus 2. Blast packs just to try and get him away. Forces himself away from the flash, but can't get the spray down. And there's still plenty of time to defuse this one. Fabriken taking the half, 9-3 then against Prodigy. I'm sure that Prodigy would have liked to get more.
Definitely. And again, you could argue that, I mean, the age-old discussion, it's defensive-sided. 3 rounds isn't the worst. It gives you the opportunity to, you know, lose the pistol round and still have a fighting chance. But I don't know. The way Fabriken are playing right now, Prodigy can't be happy with this heading into the second half. This is really fantastic stuff from Fabriken so far. Just on a side note, I'm pretty sure Meadow has to be trolling us with these crosshairs. There's absolutely no way he isn't.
They're gross.
They're absolutely disgusting.
My mother always raised me not to judge people by their crosshairs.
He's messing with it right now. I saw that. I saw that.
It's time to change the crosshair.
He was like, they're on to me. Instantly takes out the camera. Being a Cypher, you do have that knowledge of where those cameras are going to be planted as Fabriken now burst onto the site. And if they can win this pistol, this could be massive. They've got control of screens. The spike is going to go down. And okay, yeah, Prodigy have heaven. They're going to need to push down ramp realistically, because if they go through the defender side, if they go through screens, they're going to be greeted by 2 players. If you drop out of heaven, you're going to find yourself killed by the player in hell. But if all 4 of you...
I mean, this is good, though. Look, Prodigy have stacked up around towards A main, and actually 3 members around elbow and screens. Pora's going to find an opening onto Latex here. Lucker looking for something in corner sight. Rhyme will find Zip and Meadow's going to come beyond from the box. Pora trades it. Leo now shutting down Pora, but then Hip coming in will find 2 from the screens area, and that is actually a really, really good retake there. A very important round win for Prodigy, Dan.
Yeah, Hip was the vital factor there for me. It's always dangerous, all 4 of you pushing through a choke like that, but because they had positioned themselves so heavily towards screens, it meant that they had to take those long-distance fights, and a couple of them had classics. But Hip just timing it perfectly, waiting for them to turn away at screens and look towards sight, and then he was there to ruin their day as Prodigy get a very much-needed pistol round. If they hadn't have won that pistol, I would be saying that it could have been GG, and Fabriken maybe be walking away with a map lead here in this best of 3. But instead now, it is very much game on.
Last time Pora was on this map against Prodigy, or sorry, for Prodigy, he posted up 19 frags.
We'll see that right now. 4. Oh, this is... Oh, no. Oh, no, Rhyme. He's going to find the first, but not the second. Shadow's going to trade it out with the classic Hips there to back him up. He's going to land 2 headshots to the Spectre, and he's going to get himself the 3rd as well. And all we have left is Meadow on the Cypher.
And unfortunately, he has a dart right in his backside, so he ain't getting anywhere anytime soon. At least he takes down Pora. But Prodigy quite rightly take the 2nd. Did Hip not have any ability to dismiss or overheal there? Because he just chose not to after getting 3 frags. It was really, really bizarre.
I didn't quite catch it, but maybe not. Maybe he was skimping out a little bit on the abilities. Obviously, that is the round after they won the pistol round, and I'm guessing he went with the full armor Spectre. So maybe opted to just take the Lear instead, but...
Prodigy, even after those 2 rounds, still have a pretty decent buy here with 3 Vandals to work with and a couple of SMGs. Pora is going to be above them, but Turco with the double. Big kills from him. He's going to be flashed here. Does turn away from it, but Leo eliminates. And Leo gets a 2nd onto Hip as well. Maybe saying, well, this is how you reign up, buddy.
Leo has been so good so far in this map. And like I said, on the back of a really strong performance on Ascent as well, it's actually really, really refreshing to see him step up and be the driving force for Fabriken here.
Spike is down, Empress is popped. Lucker is just going to drop straight out of heaven, but he walks straight into Zipan's bullets, and Leo is there to clean up Rhyme as well. 10-5 now to Fabriken. And how does Prodigy's money look after that one? He did keep 2 SMGs. So they might still have a couple of pounds to work with. What is the currency in this world?
Credits. Very generic credits.
Radiant bucks.
Radianite coins.
10
Made by
frags between
Sage
Pora and
herself.
Lucker. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
considering
actually
we
is.
say how much these two have been an influence to this squad, we haven't been able to get things going here yet. But I say yet because Split can be very different. Showstopper is there and has been popped. Zipan just puts it away. No one to play today. Prodigy do have the player advantage, or at least... No, actually they don't, so it's a 3 versus 3. My apologies, but Zipan now takes down Turco to at least give them the advantage instead. Orbital Strike comes out to try and force out anyone in heaven. And it is successful, but Pora taking down Zipan. Means it's a 1 versus 2 here, Hardball.
Yep. And there you go. Nice little crossfire from Latex and Meadow. And that, again, is another round. And this is the point where you start panicking a little bit. When the enemy team has 11 rounds and you're going to buy up some sheriffs because that's all you can realistically do, that's when you start getting worried. And I said this before the game started, but Pora, Turco, Lucker, they've been the standout performers, and they're the bottom 3 right now for Prodigy. So it's got to be something to consider. There's actually 3 stacked up on A main here. Showstopper's going to get popped. Only does about 60 damage to Shadow. He's going to back up, save his life. Spycam going to get all the information here, but Spike's going to make his way through middle in the meantime. There's one player over in stairs in B Heaven. Maybe going to get an angle into the back, but Leo shuts down Lucker. Rhyme's going to reply. Not going to get that one. The Boombot going to do a lot of damage, though. And Spike now stuck in mail, so going to have to reset a little bit from this. I thought maybe they were going to get B site for free. Rhyme doesn't know how close he is. Zipan going to find one. Going to put the paint shells up into the stairs. And that might be the opportunity for Shadow to move in, but you can see Hip, he's lurking in this sky smoke. A low HP Latex is about to peek out from main, but there you go. Nicely timed. Now they're going to get site control.
Meadow takes down Pura to make it a 3 versus 1, and 12-5 now. Latex gets the finisher. There's so many Latex jokes, there must be there or thereabouts, but 12-5 is the score, and now for Fabriken, they're so close to taking this opening map, and this was my worry with Prodigy opting to attack first, and if things just went wrong ever so slightly when they went onto their defensive half, they've already sacrificed so much and given Fabriken such a cushion to be a little bit more experimentative with how they're going to be pushing.
Latex keeps you safe in dangerous situations there, Dan.
That it does.
It's a form of protection in some way or another.
Well, he certainly has been the protector of the side. And this time he's going to throw down the stim beacon for the whole team to get a little bit of a boost pushing onto the site. Rhyme is just trying to hide away. Can he get a spray down? At least he gets the trade. Taking down Leo, and Leo has been the driving force of this attack so many times. Unfortunately, Pora falls. Lucker gets the trade, and Lucker needs to go huge here. Orbital Strike might force someone right into his crosshair, but it doesn't. Turco gets one onto Meadow. Neural Theft has been popped. And Prodigy are in a 3 versus 2, a must-win 3 versus 2 as well. Latex's crosshair firmly sight onto Garage, but Hip will take him down through the wall.
All he's got to deny this. I was going to say, all he's got to deny this is the aftershock. You see he's going to pop it there, but he's going to get 1 kill for it, but it's not going to buy enough time, that's for sure. Shadow on a little bit of a lurk elsewhere. Didn't quite catch on the minimap why, but Prodigy doubling down, investing the Empress and the orbital strike on that round. And it obviously was a must win because Fabriken have made it all the way to match point, and Prodigy have got to get 6 rounds in a row to send this one to overtime. And that's a tall order.
Any other map, I'd say, yeah, we're probably not going to see it. But there's still part of me that says, well, I mean, it is split. And Prodigy have looked good in the past on split. So I wouldn't put it past them. They just need to reset this economy of Fabriken to give themselves a real chance and maybe just inject a little bit of confidence back into themselves as well. Get a couple of their shots on, get a couple of their big hitters firing once again. Zipan tries to throw in a nade to do some damage, but Lucker's there with the op to shut him down immediately. Prodigy do have the 2-player advantage. It's those early frags that have been so important for them in previous rounds, but Lucker can't get past the latex. And I wonder whether they know if Hip's here. Because if they do, he is in a sticky situation. If they don't, and he might be able to pick up a big double, but I mean, that's a sight to behold, isn't it? Arena on 2 sides. Thought about going for the little bit of trigger discipline, but had to go for the shots after she backed her backside right into his face. Latex cleans up, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 3. Still very much doable, but Latex needs the help from Meadow. I mean, Latex has all the tools. He's got orbital strike. He's got an Insyn to work with. Rhyme did spot him out, but couldn't connect with the shots. And there's only 10 seconds now, so they've got to be quick, but it's not going to work out. 12-7. And Fabriken's money is going to start getting worse and worse now. And then that's when the seed is planted in your brain of, well, what happens if we do throw this away? What happens if this does end up going to overtime?
This would be a massive knock to their confidence if this one went to overtime. And again, Shadow, after looking really, really good in the previous series, having a slow one here. Hip stepping up. I've already mentioned Lucker and Pora. I'm not going to chime on. Not going to kick a dog while it's down. Lucker getting a little bit more active now, but it's definitely not over just yet.
Not yet, but Zipan does a little bit of damage and will allow then the push onto ramp. Maybe take control of Heaven here. Shadow does have ult to work with. The Rolling Thunder is there if they choose to use it, but Pora gets the opener onto Meadow. Fabriken on a weak buy here, so they just wanted to try and do something a little bit different, but maybe they were just a little bit too slow. As I say that, we have seen Zipan being able to get all the way through.
Hips all the way bottom mid though, and actually Leo is going to find the right time in there. Orbital Strike going to get invested into Heaven. Showstopper invested, he can't get it off. Zipan's going to shut him down, and that was an important kill. If he could have stopped that, the spike would have been down in Mayo, and they would have had a chance to actually recover from this round. But now,
well, it's now all on the line for Prodigy. They've got one more map, potentially 2 if they can make this one work. We're headed into map number 2. It's Fabriken and Prodigy, lower bracket final. Hypoc and Gaskin. Let's see how this one turns out.
Thank you very much, Moses. Well, we're going to have Fabriken attacking first here then. On their choice of map being Ascent. Their opposition's Prodigy have opted to defend first here, and hopefully it can be a better defensive hold than what we saw from them in Split. They've got more rounds to work with here because at least they're going to get the guaranteed 12. It's going to be a slow push up towards A. Often you see on Ascent, on a pistol round, you just get a 5-stack pushing straight through A, and they are going to march onto the site, but there's going to be a couple of shots tagged onto Latex. Lucker is going to be under here in hell. Zipan will get one of his own onto Pora, but Turco is there to get the trade. And now it's already going to be the man advantage, because there is going to be one player lurking outside. Hip maybe going to catch Meadow here. No, Meadow gets the trade onto Hip, gets the frag, so it's going to be a 3 versus 3. Meadow just needs to join the rest of the squad because the spike is down on site, so they're going to have to burst on here.
Yeah, it was. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Spike pushed towards the door switch, I think, and it's in a bit of a precarious position right now. You can see Rhyme already ready for this lurking flank coming out of Meadow. Meadow taking his time. They got 43 seconds left on the clock, so no need to force the issue just yet. That could be some unfortunate timing for Rhyme. If he doesn't come back and check, he is going to just re-peek it a little bit, but Meadow needs to make something happen here. He needs to be the catalyst here, because they've got the rest of the site locked down right now. Actually, the recon bolt going to tag out Lâcher hiding behind the little box on the edge. Meadow finally making his way up, but now 16 seconds left. There's not an awful lot of time to make something happen here, Dan.
Turco gets one, Rhyme gets another, and Rhyme sends the round in favor of Prodigy. Fabriken just not able to get onto the site successfully there, and that's why I always worry about having a lurking player. Like, yes, okay, he was able to get the frag in the two lurking players going in a one-on-one, but wasn't able to help out the team. If he'd all gone together there, maybe they could have had more success on the site. I don't know how you feel, but lurking on pistol rounds I always feel is a bit iffy.
They got the 1-for-1 trade on the entry there, and again, the second kill the first kill going down was the Spike, and it was Latex, unfortunately, dropping that, like I said, making a move for the door switch. But again, if you're going to trade 1-for-1 and play the numbers there, it's just unfortunate that you've not got, like you said, the advantage of having everybody with you. Lâcher's actually going to find a pick in mid. Actually, he's going to back up a little bit here. Dark cover down, covering the archway, and this is going to be an easy spray down for Rhyme. Only finds one so far, but Latex is low. That's the second. Pora will find the third. And there you go. Rhyme will find the final kill onto Leo. Again, throwaway round for Fabriken. Prodigy will go 2-0 up here on Ascent.
Fabriken just pushing out to middle a little bit too quickly there. Not allowing the dark cover to set into place. Just allowed that early pick with the Marshal. And of course, Prodigy are just going to keep these weapons now going into this next round so that they will still have money to buy up in the fourth, regardless of whether they win or lose here. 3 SMGs, a Bulldog and a Marshal. There's some lovely paintings. I wonder if they come alive like in Harry Potter. Fabriken going to take this one somewhat slowly, but as I say that, a couple of footsteps are going to be heard at A here. One player already onto short. Zipan does get the opener onto Turco, so it's going to be all down to Pora on the site here with a Spectre. Can find one. Great spray down. Looks to see if he can get the second. There is 2 players on Generator, but Latex comes out and ruins Pora's day. He's just going to go for a little bit of a fake plant just to get some information here. It's Fabriken down to just 3.
Tag him?
Aim for Prodigy. Could have tagged him through. Hip comes onto site. Gets one onto Latex, and now he's looking across to short. But Meadow gets a double spray down, and it's a 1 versus 1 now. It's going to be Hip versus Shadow. Hip has overhealed, but only has the SMG. Shadow should get the jump on him, which he does. Fabriken get there first on the board now. But that looked very scary indeed.
It did, yeah. Again, I thought Prodigy were going to have the edge there in the hold. Especially when Meadows picking up 2 kills from the door. But Shadow playing that one slow. I think he got a little audio cue from Hip dropping onto site. So, again, playing that one perfectly. So, Fabriken will put their first on the board. Weapons all over, but light armor for Latex and Meadow. That could be a consideration to make. Operator in the hands of Lâcher, as expected. No armor, though. We know if he takes a tag, he can dash away. 4 people pushing through B main. Actually, the 5th not far behind. The recon bolt's going to go out. Paranoia pushed through here. It's a really good execute coming out. Shadow's going to find the opening to Hip. Showstopper has been popped. Zipan now looking to try and get some value off this, but nobody giving anything away right now. They've fully reset for the retake. Now, the problem is 2 players still being over in B main means they've got some other angles to work with. That always makes the retake difficult. This spot here from Meadow, absolutely deadly if the people on site can cause a bit of a distraction here. Lâcher going to jump up and look for something. Not going to see any peeks just yet. And there you go. Meadow will shut him down. That's the headshot from the Vandal. Push comes in now. And there is a flank. Shadow is going to shut Pora down, and that's going to give the signal to back up and save these weapons. Really, really nice hold there from Fabriken post-plant.
Ryan will desperately want to save this op. Does have support from his teammate. Spray down comes through the wall though from Leo, and just like that, the weapon's taken away and ripped away from Prodigy's hands. Leo says, anyone want the op? But no one calls for it. I think that's sometimes the better approach. If you don't have a reason to op whilst attacking, then why pick it up? Because it can just almost hold you back at times, can't it? You have that one player who's just... What are you trying to do here?
Absolutely love that. Did you see the way it bounced back across?
Yeah.
I love that. And that's to stop people from being annoying and dropping the spike where it can't be retrieved. Rhyme going to find the opener here onto Meadow with the Sheriff. Man advantage over to Prodigy in this eco round for Prodigy. Shadow coming all the way back towards B lobby. Lacquer only with a ghost, and he's got a lot to worry about in mid. You got Latex at top mid, and here you can see Zipan looking for something through the archway. Very slow approach here. Ever since Fabriken lost that first 1v1. Actually, Shadow going to find Hip towards B. You can see that's going to be the ghost signal here. All three of them moving through. Dark cover going to cover down defensive spawn. Actually, the paranoia pushed through again. So going to see a full 4-man push here from Fabriken onto the B site. And it's only one man in the back site. Are they going to clear it out? They are indeed. Rhyme will fall there. It's actually Zipan that picks that one up. Lucka elsewhere will find Shadow. 1 HP on Lucka though. Now in a situation, 3v3 retake, and all three members of Fabriken stuck down on site. So they've got to take those angles over the Radianite crates. Sky Smokes will cover one of the doorways. Let's see what they can do here.
Lucka has a Vandal to work with. Turco gets an opener. Zipan responds. Latex should be able to get a spray down. Gets one through the smoke. Does he know there's another player there? Yes, he does, but Lucka will find him as Zipan denies any sort of hope for Prodigy. As Fabriken put another one onto the scoreboard. As soon as you said one man, I just thought about Moses going, one man, one HP.
One desire, one last chance to win this match one more time.
Please just narrate my life already.
Dan orders pizza and falls asleep at 2 in the morning.
It's almost like he's watching me. How does he know? 3-2 for Fabriken, and they pick things up after losing the opening 2. I like this position from Lucka. Oh, great angle on top mid with the op. Oh, does drop down. After not seeing anything with the initial 2 peaks, didn't want to leave himself too vulnerable. So I like the fact he recognized when it was right to move. Meadow's been able to pop a camera into the B site to get a little bit of vision, but Lucka is there waiting and holding that angle. Or at least he was. Now he's repositioning as everyone just trying to catch someone off guard, it would seem, at the moment. With middle just not occupied by anyone right now. Both players win.
Neither of them are ready for somebody to swing on that angle there. A rare miss from both players.
Rolling Thunder will allow the push now. Turco still manages to survive. Pouring at the 3K. Gets the neural theft. Will get the info of where the remaining players are. Makes it 4. Dies to the showstopper. But he's already done so much. Rhyme just rounds out that round. The 6th round going in favor of Prodigy, making it 3-3.
That's what you want to see out of Pora now. When they absolutely need a map win, you want to see him going big like that. After winning a really clean execute round, they come back to this default where, you know, they end up getting picked off in weird scenarios and end up losing rounds for it. I think that's something that's very, very punishable by a style like G2's.
One could say G2 is dominating.
Nice.
There he is again. The voice of God. It always makes me smile when I just hear Moses come out of nowhere and surprise us. But, well, this is a beautiful angle, but as much as I like to see it, there has been 4 kills. Make that 5 kills. They've already gone down. And well, the round's over. I can't tell you what happened. I'm gonna be completely honest.
We were in the cafe. We didn't see anything.
I can tell you exactly what happened there. They tried to push A and died.
That they did. They had the half buy. They just kind of went for some stingers. Yes, we forgive you, observers. Don't worry. You gave us at least a little cafe view. It was pretty. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but here you go though. So. That again there, that part by a throwaway round, and now they're pretty much tapped out. 2 players on 0 credits. So unless we see some kills here, it's going to be difficult. If they don't keep, 4 or 5 players alive from this round, Dan, it's got to be a consideration to make that this one round could lead to 2 or 3. Now, Laccher going to get a pick on Shadow at top mid. And that's not a great start to the round for Fabriken.
These opening frags from Laccher have been so influential throughout the entire tournament, but these could be the most meaningful ones in this particular game that might find them get back into this series. Rhyme gets one onto Zipan and Latex onto Pora, leaving just 3 members remaining of Fabriken now with the bomb, and well, they've got to reassess how they're going to approach this round because they have to choose a site. The good thing is with Ascent that even when you are a player down, you can often commit to a site and you still have the advantage because people tend to split evenly. It is a somewhat lengthy rotate from A to B, depending on where you are. But here they head on to the B site. Meadow will take down Hip. And even though Hip was in a good position to maybe get a 2-man spray down there, they just saw the tip of his head. And that means that all things possible for Fabriken now, with 3 members still up.
Yeah, Bladestorm actually going to come out from Laccher here, so fully going to go in for this retake here. 2 kills, Turco and Rhyme will pick up Meadow and Leo, and now Latex on site. Rhyme will find Latex for his 3rd, and the defuse will come through. And now, like I said, that round there, because they were tapped out, they did get the spike down. But that one force buy up, Dan, again, everybody hovering around the 30, well, yeah, 2 at 37. So we're going to see another investment, probably of Sheriff's light armors, maybe a Spectre or 2. And again, against a fully armed Prodigy. Now this is the problem. They turn that 1 eco round into 3 effectively.
That's the scary factor. Prodigy on their way to having a somewhat dominant first half here. Fabriken essentially going to have to make a comeback on their own defensive half if they can't pick up some rounds, but some aggression here from Pora, and the aggression, and well, it pays off. Now Neural Theft can come out at the same time. They're going to see all these members marching down A short. Jet manages to dash away. Zipan will get the frag onto Pora. There is going to be a rifle there, but it's not really in touching distance. So instead, they retreat back to middle. Latex will teleport and step his way across the map as they go back to B. And there is only going to be 1 member of the side of Prodigy on the B site. It's going to be Hip. How is his hold? Pops his Empress just to try and give him a little bit of extra oomph for this hold. Can't find one, but he will find the second, and now he can reposition and heal up as well. But Zipan, hello, gets the 3rd with the Sheriff onto Hip. It's going to have to be a big round from him. Does find the 4th. It's going to have to be the ace if he does so. Peeks out, has the nade to work with. Does he need to be desperately looking for this? There are weapons that are available. The res has come out, though, so it's not just the 5th. There's also the 6th he's going to have to kill. Gets the spike. Gets a Spectre at the same time. And there is a Vandal on site somewhere.
There is indeed. I mean, Spike's going to go down. Zipan's already done fantastically here. Turco's going to find the headshot. The defuse will come through. Again, I respect it. Doubling down. The showstopper. I mean, he could have been lucky enough to find 2 there. If Turco had pushed up just a little bit to stack with his teammate, that could have been disastrous. Fantastic effort from Zipan. He's been performing Absolutely lights out today. But now we're on a 6-3 scoreline. Fabriken back to a full buy now. Obviously, after the plant goes down and a couple of kills go in their favor.
Shadow just on the half armor, but we see that quite often with the op. He's going to get aggressive. Is hip. Pora there for support, but Fabriken don't really want any of this. They're not going to bite after those initial shots. And again, maybe just a little bit of hesitancy from Fabriken. They're just trying to suss out what Prodigy have to offer here. 2 members over towards A. The dark cover comes out. Maybe just as a little bit of a distraction at this point. As the other 3 members are still very much in B main. And there's the teleport onto the B site.
That's free.
Like this. Latex has done this quite often, but hit with the op shot. And he finds a second, can dismiss to get away. And that is the push from Fabriken very successfully shut down. Yes, okay, 2 members are on site and they're going to be able to get the plant. But still, with 5 members up, okay, make that 4 because Latex gets 1, but Rhyme is there for the trade. And now it's just going to be Shadow with that half armor and with an op. Does have Rolling Thunder, but he's being smoked off. Connects with the first one onto Lucker, and it's going to be so difficult for him to do anything. He's going to have to hit some magical shots to survive. Does have a flash.
He's sticking it, though. That's unfortunate. And again, it's Shadow's going to find another one, but right there. And again, I don't necessarily think it's worth him investing in Rolling Thunder. He's made the right decision there, but he'll lose his operator. And again, it just makes it so difficult. We've talked about it a couple of times now. When a player gets locked into backside, if he's in a 1v whatever situation, it's so difficult to get into. He's done fantastically well to find the first pick onto Lucker, but really tough situation for him. I mean, on the back of a couple of really nice shots from Hip, to be honest with you.
I mean, every player in this lobby is capable of hitting some insane shots, and that's the scary thing right now. Even though we've not seen, like, the 1v5 clutches popping out, we've seen a lot of, like, 1v4s, a lot of 1v3s, and some incredible Sheriff shots, too. Latex going to use dark cover. No scope available for Lucker. Zipan just got well up and truly in his face. Hip is going to be waiting here on logs and will connect with one. Uses dismiss to reposition, but can't reposition far enough away from Latex's SMG. Fabriken with 4. They haven't been able to get onto the site yet. Prodigy still holding their site firmly. The teleport from Latex will allow him to take a look down to defensive spawn side. Rhyme is going to be the one on site, and he hits a big shot onto Latex. Now he just has to try and delay and buy time for his team. Did a little bit of damage to Meadow. Maybe
Spike's
has
down,
done
though.
enough, because, yeah, the spike is there. They haven't been able to pick it up just yet. Pora taking down Leo. Means that it's a 2 versus 2. The spray from Turco doesn't quite find the connection.
8 HP. If one bullet would have caught him there, it would have gone down again, but Spike will get planted on B site, and now we've got a straight up 2v2. Both players down on the site. Actually, looks like Meadows looking to maybe hold down the fort on lane. No, he's going to drop down now.
Shadow gets the first, Pora gets the second, and Shadow gets one of his own again.
Nice.
Decent hold from them, from Fabriken. They needed to pull something out there. They had a relatively weak buy as well. A couple of Bulldogs they were working with. They just shoehorned their way into the site. And if they can get 5, then I would say that this is they've salvaged something from this half.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And again, you got to argue. I mean, this is on the back of a couple of good performances. Rhyme and Pora stepping up. I know we gave him a little bit of heat on the death segment, Dan, but he's putting up the numbers now. Lucker looking to peek into B main here, and actually he's going to find one. Meadow is going to land 2 headshots. Actually, Hip will fall as well. Neural Theft gets popped now. The information is going to come out. Spike all the way over at A main, though. So that's going to slow things down a little bit. The rotation is going to come out from Prodigy. You can see Pora pushing all the way up to his cage. Maybe going to try and get himself into the cubby in B main. Meadow, I was going to say, still catches him there. That was good timing to check back into that corner. And now the spike has arrived. Market's going to be smoked off with the dark cover and as well the defensive spawn. Turco goes for a little peek underneath, but Zipan's going to find him with the Phantom, and that's going to be Sight going over to Fabriken again. 5 alive, just the one rhyme.
Showstopper popped because it's going to be the last run of the half. Latex peeks out, gets rhyme. 7-5 then. And even though it was a pretty abysmal middle section for Fabriken, losing 5 in a row, getting 5 on the board themselves, attacking, I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Yes, okay, they've been able to achieve more in the past. But being able to come back after losing 5 in a row is always a good thing, because it's very easy to lose morale and lose momentum when that happens, and it could have quite easily ended up as a 9-3. And a 9-3 can very quickly turn into 11-3 if you just lose the pistol. Whereas if Fabriken can win the pistol here, then suddenly it's 7-7, and that's far more achievable in terms of getting back into this game. We have seen some pretty interesting pistol strategies throughout this tournament. Some teams opting just to burst their way onto sites. Others have been a bit more slow and methodical. We've seen lurks. We've seen a lot of ghost kills. It seems to be the most preferred pistol, of course. Door will be closed here on the B site. So that means they're just going to go right back to middle and maybe head towards A potentially here. 3 members up onto short are going to head all the way back round to long. There is going to be 1 member there. It's going to be Zipan. Need to peek together, and they should be able to find some frags here. Bora was picking up his trap rather than actually using his gun, but they still find the kill. Shadow takes down Lâcher. Prodigy have the advantage, though. 4 players for them, just the 3 on the side of Fabriken. Meadow is kind of stuck between everything right now. It's ice, it's smoke. The only thing not there is fire. Leo taking down Ryan means 2 players for Fabriken remain. But one of those is Shadow, and Shadow's been hitting some big shots today, and both players on Prodigy are weak, and they take down the Reyna, which is massive because no overheal is going to be available now. And Poro in a 1 versus 2 with very little health to work with. 33 HP. The spike still hasn't gone down. And this is an interesting approach. Doesn't work out for him. 4K for Shadow, and the 6th on the board for Fabriken. And that's 7-6. Like I said before, this probably becomes a 7-7. You're probably going to see a lot more comfort in terms of how Fabriken approach this now. If they were down by 9 after the first half, then you start to get a little bit more antsy with your play. Prodigy just opting to pick up a couple of sheriffs. And they are all going to be pushing down middle here.
Yeah, this is, again, a good stack up here for the save round. They're going to actually try and go all the way through to the defensive spawn here. Maybe try and wrap round to the back of A site. Leo might have sight lines if he comes back and peeks, but Shadow here with the Spectre could pick himself up some juicy eco kills. He's going to find 2 Poor, going to straight that back up, but Meadow there to find 2. Maybe the 3rd as well, which it will be. Hip will fall, and that is now 7-7. Again, the freebie round, but we're all tied up now. That's how important that pistol round was. Good cleanup from the side of Fabriken.
Four rounds in a row ever since that 5-round blip. Regardless of whether one of them is a freebie after the pistol. Rhyme going 17-8 for all we've spoken about Pura and Lâcher and Turco.
Yeah, that's actually huge for Rhyme. And again, I don't know whether throw any shade his way, but we certainly haven't seen that before. Actually, Rolling Thunder going to get popped out here all the way into A main. Zipan going to push out. Pura and Turco will respond. Shut down both of them. Now you're going to see actually Shadow come out and land a really nice headshot onto Lâcher. 3 members still at top mid. Spike's still in their possession, so Not the worst situation yet. Latex is going to have the surprise of his lifetime if he doesn't catch the audio cue here. Pora going to find him with the Vandal, and this is shutting down again. Couple of Spectres, but an important round nonetheless. They've already lost 2 though, and Hip going to find Shadow now all the way in short, and that leaves our boy Leo in a 1v3 situation, Spectre in hand. You can see Prodigy is just going to wait it out, just going to wait for someone to come, but Hip maybe to actually, oh, he's unlucky not to get that second one as well, Dan, but some damage done. 3 guns off the board. Not going to be terrible in the grand scheme of things, but
I mean,
actually, yeah, look at it. That's kind of huge now. Full buy coming out for Fabriken, and they've definitely dented Prodigy.
Ignoring the red and green confusion, that economy has definitely been hurt, and that is the advantage of that kind of third round and a half of being aggressive with your SMGs that you're carrying through from round 2, trying to catch the other team off guard, taking a little bit of value off of their economy. Spike is going to be left behind here by Prodigy, but they are going to take mid control. Aldrone has been sent through to middle, has spotted out Pora. No Hunter's Fury just yet to punish that tag. I've got to say, it's a maybe unrated skill as well, being able to tag someone with the Aldrone. It can be a guaranteed kill if you have got Hunter's Fury. Rhyme pops in and takes out Meadow. And Rhyme continuing to frag here on the Sage as well. What is it with the Sages in this tournament? Just turning up. Zipan is going to be met potentially by 2 players here, but no, okay, Rhyme trying to do a little bit of a fake out with audio.
He just caught a barrel there. He just caught the barrel. Now he's definitely going to know. He's going to come and peek out here, find himself 2. That is fantastic work from Zipan. Latex is going to find Hip as well. Turco comes in and trades that. Spike going to go towards B site, but he's now in a 1v3 situation. The recon bolt has gone down. Aftershock goes in. They're trying to spam through the walls. And now Turco comes back to this spot we talked about already. He's going to find the first one, not the second, unfortunately. They lined up for him. There was a chance he could have got both of them down, but the retake comes through. Fabriken will get the defuse, and they're going to tie the game up again.
And even with the early frag there from Prodigy, they just weren't able to take advantage of it. And I think this is one of the things you were talking about with Ascent, is like you get control of middle, you get control of Pizza, and then you're still walking into a potential bombardment and a potential difficult situation where you've got players in market, you've still got players in the defender spawn as well. And you have to pick and choose which way you're going to go. And without any utility, without the smokes at that time, you leave yourself so vulnerable pushing either way.
See a little set play with the incendiary here. That's going to go all the way over. Thank you, observers. That's going to clear out the backside of the crates. So looking like we're going to get a push through here. The synchronized ice on site.
I mean, yeah, it's good, but they've not pushed with it. So it becomes somewhat pointless. Well, I know they've only got pistols. It's going to be a weak buy, but surely with something like that, you want to at least try and take advantage of it. Shadow gets the dashing Lucker. Turco finds one of his own, but Meadow is there for the 3-man. There is one player still there. He's been tagged. He's going to get absolutely destroyed through this box. Now, Fabriken go 9-8 up, and are going to start to really take hold of this game, because their money is going to be continuously building up, whilst Prodigy are in a continuous fight to just try and stabilize.
Yeah, important round when we think about the money. The credits, sorry. It's not money. Definitely not a currency. And now you can see, actually, standout performance from Ryan. We've already said it. Pora stepping up this time around. But Shadow, again, after having a rocky previous map, 20 and 11 on the breach. And he did have a solid performance on Ascent beforehand as well. Let's see a 4-man push down catwalk here. Nobody actually here for contact in tree, because you can see both members of Fabriken all the way deep in back alley. Shadow just holding that angle with the operator. They do have a tripwire to deal with, so the information is going to go there very, very quickly. You can see now. Shadow's going to turn around, shift his focus a little bit. The Rainer layer comes in. He's going to get himself a kill here. There you go. Rhyme will fall. The spike still backed up a little bit in the cubby. And there, Pora will find an entry onto Latex in B. And actually, he might find a second as well. Zipan, a rare whiff. Shadow will pick up Turco. Pora will find a third on Leo all the way back at Heaven Ramp. And that's going to be B-site going over to Prodigy. Neural Theft gets popped. But again, they got to know what is going on here. You can see now, Prodigy have a player back in the B lobby, like I said, and this is it's one of those ones that as soon as you get an audio cue, you can bait so hard for this angle. Hip's going to come back and actually join him here so they can double peek and potentially hold down the flank, but it's an operator in the hand of Lucka, and we know how deadly he is with that.
Very much so. The stun comes out and Lucka will get the opener, but Meadow gets 2, which means this is winnable. Pora is very weak here. It would be a 3k for him, but he has no idea where Pora is, and he is running out of time. He's going to have to hold this. Taps it. Looks right, looks left, but Pora gets the jump on him. It was so close from Meadow. A great effort. But in the end, in the Cypher duel, Pora comes away with a 4k.
Big round from Pora. That is a big round.
Still plenty of money to work with. Hip going to be on somewhat of a weak buy, and the same for Leo. They are going to be somewhat stacking over to A here. Smokes are ready. Sky Smoke's available. Meadow is there with the camera, though. Out comes the Leah. And out comes the orbital strike as well, just to force anyone out on that right-hand side on that box. Here comes the wall, just to encourage them onto site. But Meadow gets a spray down through the smoke thanks to his trap. Will find Lucka as well. And Meadow has just been hitting some incredible shots here, but the rest of Prodigy have done pretty well to regain control of this site. And the res comes through Rhyme onto Lucka, but Zipan says, well, Lucka, there's just another unnecessary death for you. Hip on generator. Just having a little glance towards Heaven. And these two need to work together. Latex is going to teleport onto site. We've got the showstopper available. Zipan takes down Hip. He pushes down into Hell, but Latex will fall to Rhyme. He knows Rhyme's there, but the spray down comes through elsewhere. And Rhyme will finish 10-9 to Prodigy. And yeah, that was a really good post-plant situation for them. Even though Meadow had done really well to get the opening 2. The rest of the team weren't really able to follow suit.
Yep, 2 rounds now picked up by Prodigy. And that's 4-3 on the half. So Prodigy still kind of keeping pace with Fabriken here. And again, looking at the loadout now, you got to assume it's going to go to 11-9, Dan, unless we see a really nice aggressive push with the scrappy buy. It's not the start you want, though. Turco's going to find Zipan as he goes for that push through A lobby again. Shadow all the way in cubby here. Going to find one, actually. Rhyme's going to fall again. Flashpoint goes out. He's going to try and recover that weapon. I think he just grabbed it there, so that's pretty big. The cage goes down to try and cover his cross back over, and he's going to get safely back into tree with a Phantom. So, not over just yet. You can see the stinger of Latex and Leo as well tucked in the cubby. Dark covers out, so... Oh, nearly. There you go. Pora does try and get rid of the threat in the cubby there, but 3 players now stacked over to defend B site and 3 members of Prodigy over there to maybe try and aggress it. But the Owl drone coming through. Maybe not going to spot anything. Is it going to time out just before he sees it? There you go. The information is going to go over. But they're actually going to... They're going to force the issue here. Dark cover is going to go down. Paranoia pop through. 18 seconds left on the clock here. And here comes the push.
And they haven't got any time, really. It's just been too late from Prodigy. And just the one remaining player not going to be able to get the spike down in time. Even if he jumps onto site here, he is just a dead man. Leo gets the spray down with the stinger. And I have to say, Prodigy have gifted that round to Fabriken.
Yes.
Again, just taking too long to do anything really going forward, leaving the spike all the way over by the A lobby.
And you got to think that's maybe a bit of fear. They know. I mean, they've got to assume Fabriken are either going to be on nothing or they've made a scrappy buy decision. Maybe that's just a bit of fear. They're being a bit too cautious there of losing the eco round. And now, I mean, look at the economy on the side of Fabriken. Sorry, of Prodigy. Sorry, my mistake.
I mean, it's not really your fault. The fact that it does flip the colors is pretty annoying.
Keeps catching me off guard.
One day we'll get a working mode as Latex gets 3. Leo cleans up the remaining 2. I don't know what it is. When you say Leo and when I say Leo, I think of an Australian saying Leo. It just seems like a... Does it sound like an Australian name to you, or is that just me just being a weirdo?
I'm with you. There's a couple of times where I don't know. I've got a weird accent. Obviously,
I've just heard you say it. I've heard a little Australian twang, and I'm like, where's this coming from? You're not from Australia.
It's the Essex in me, Dan, okay?
Leo.
G'day, Leo.
G'day, Leo. 11-10 to Fabriken now.
Matt.
They're getting closer and closer to potentially taking this entire series here. There has been some aggression here from Rhyme. Can he get the spray down? Yes, he can, but the trade there from Zipan. Zipan has a little taparoo of the orb, just to bait out and see if anyone was going to be there. Prodigy move their way back to B and middle. They've got control of Pizza, but they don't have control of Garage because Latex is there and he is ever present. But he doesn't manage to get that one. Turco and Poor have done the job, but it's Zappen again, who has really been a thorn in the side. And it's just going to be all down to him. He gets the first, and now it's a 1 versus 1, but there is an orbital strike available for Turco here. How does he play this one out? Blast packs come through. Smokes come out just to try and force him into a difficult position onto this site. He is at 72 HP. Has managed to walk onto the site, though. This is absolutely massive. He's worried that he's maybe walked through the smoke on the other side. Little does he know he's on the right, and he doesn't get the spray. Turco manages to connect. A massive round for Prodigy. And making this an absolute nail-biter of a finish here on Ascent.
This is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, do we see our much-wanted overtime, potentially?
I mean, do we have overtime? I don't even know who to believe anymore. I feel betrayed.
My whole life has been a lie.
Everything's a lie.
Cora has been listening to the stream, apparently. You heard our criticisms, like, all right, I'll show you what's up.
Yeah, I'll show you what's up. I guess Leo wasn't talking because he's 7:15 right now.
Okay. All right.
We have another stack up towards B here, Dan. Pora going to be lurking all the way over towards mid. Hip's going to find Latex on the way in. That's going to be another entry into B here, Dan. And this is problematic now. Orbital strike going to cut off the defensive spawn. Pora coming to rejoin through mid link. Zipan now trying to find something through market. Now, 4v5 retake, but you can argue Pora's that far out that it's a 4v4 on the site. And actually, Ryan boosted all the way up there. Going to find Zipan. That's a really cheeky angle. Shadow's going to trade it out with the operator. And now that's going to bring Pora closer and closer. But it looks like they're backing up. They're going to want to hold on to these 3 weapons. And I think that's the wise decision. So this is going to put Prodigy on match point.
Or we'll get overtime. Turco dies to the spike. That's happened before. I swear that's like the second time that Turco's died to spike today. You hate to see it. It made me chuckle, and that's always a delightful thing. Last chance for Fabriken to take this to OT. Otherwise, Prodigy will be taking this to a third map here in the lower bracket final. G2 await the winners of the two in the grand final, where it will be a best of 5 as well. So plenty of Valorant still to come. Hopefully at least 5 minutes for Hypoc and I to reset. And for the teams to have a little break between as well, because to be honest, they're going to need it after the intense action that they've been going through. Prodigy lose the opening frag. So a good start for Fabriken and their hopes of taking this to overtime.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to Mixwell and Pierce spamming chat for a 2-0, and looks like they're going to get a disappointment potentially. Because the way Prodigy are playing, when the game slows down, I feel like Prodigy are the ones able to edge out rounds. You see now they're going to make a very cautious push here. They're down 1 player, so 4v5 for them. Hip going to put Empress on lockdown here. He's going to put Aaliyah in. He's actually going to find 2 entries in. Pora finding the second one. Now, Lacquer trying to spam through the sky smokes to find that ping for the neural theft. But they're going to get control of sight. Hunter's Fury gets popped. Latex now going to come through lobby, but Turco's going to find the headshot. So now, let's slow down a little bit as we look for this retake. Pora going to find Shadow though in heaven. Leo's going to trade that out. Now, it's all on our boy Leo.
Doesn't matter how you say it. In a normal accent, Australian accent, he gets one. He looks towards hell. Can he make it a second? Does have shock darts to work with. Isn't going to connect. Doesn't quite get it. And Prodigy, well, they're taking this to a third map.
But for now, we have to figure out who's going to get there. It's going to be Prodigy and it's going to be Fabriken trying to win their way into the grand finals. Gentlemen, last game. Let's find out.
Well, Fabriken going to be on the attacking side then. See what they can come up with here. I personally would rather be defending first on bind, but I know that you are of an opposite thought, Hypoc, and you prefer to attack first, so it all comes down to personal preference. The default execute has come out in the pistol round, rather than the pistol round, which is somewhat of a slightly different thing, but Luck is down to just 2 HP. He gets taken down by Shadow. Spike has now been planted. Hip gets aggressive, takes down Zipan. Shadow is there for his second of the round, and now Rhyme is in the vantage point of heaven here. Does have Ghost to work with. There's a couple of players just grouped up in New Bend next to Lamps. Whereas Meadow has worked his way into Showers. Turco will eliminate Latex and Shadow as Pora takes down Meadow. And I tell you what, this is looking a lot better for Prodigy now. Fabriken down to just the 1. It's just going to be Leo. Has darts to work with, but not going to be enough. Now Prodigy opened things up on their defensive half, as you would expect with how they were able to retake that one and how they were able to reposition themselves, but it was a big double frag there in Lamps.
It was, yeah, and again, I mean, Leo had a chance to clutch that up there. He shot the recon in. Obviously, that gives his position away, but maybe he could have played around that cage a little better there if he did get a couple of pings. Again, it's a tall order to ask somebody to go 1v3 when the pressure's on, and obviously the defuse is imminent, but we are going to see Fabriken force up a couple of SMGs and a Bulldog. Leo's going to hold on to his Ghost. So they're obviously looking to counteract the pistol round win. You're going to see the double default smokes come down on a site again. Zipan's going to find Lucka, and that's him falling first twice now in a row. Hip actually going to walk through this guy smoke. He's going to find one. He's going to find the planter as well. That's really good. Shadow going to respond with 2 of his own, so going 2 apiece. So the spike still going to go down here. Both players rotating back over from the B site, and you got to think this one is going to be a hold for Fabriken in a 3v2 situation.
It's certainly at first glance with how both players are rotating from the same position, but no one to watch this defending door. Which means they can both push together into Lamps. If they can connect with the bullets onto Shadow, which they can't, the flash comes out. Shock darts there and available as Shadow gets a 4K. I mean, Shadow had almost done a big job in the first round on the pistol round, but now what a huge round that is for Fabriken. Sending Prodigy right back. And it's going to be a force back, it looks, by Prodigy. Not Prodigy.
You're losing it. You're losing.
I mean, who'd have thought?
we're secretly hoping for a 3-0 in the finals, and not for all the right reasons, I will say. We are going to get a force buy back from Prodigy, and that's going to be them tapped out, except for 200 credits on Hip, and he's going to be rocking the judge going into this one. So have to wait and see what happens. Pora's going to get tagged up on that. He's going to have to opt to take the TP, and there is a Meadow waiting outside, but he's not going to challenge. He's going to force Pora all the way into showers, but he was the solo player on the B site now. You can see the owl drone's going to come in. It's not going to spot anybody at all, and Fabriken are going to absolutely collapse onto B site here. See a couple of people challenging from the defensive spawn. Zipan going to find Turco with the stinger. Going to throw a paint shell in there for good measure, and Luck are going to come around to elbow.
Spike's been planted. And the post-plant positions are, for the majority, very heavily on the site, except for the big old rotate coming elsewhere. Rhyme kind of stuck in the moment on this defending door. Flash will come out just to be able to try and give a little bit of a sight line and a push out from shadows, and he will take down Rhyme. Meadow gets Pora, who was on a little bit of a flank. And Hip, unfortunately, with the judge, doesn't really have the option of pushing onto the site. Has to wait for someone to push him, but Shadow relentless right now. Gets a 3k with the Bulldog. Fabriken take a 2-1 lead, and now Prodigy are going to have to just eco here.
And now, it's interesting, because if Fabriken can get a bit of wind in their sails, I mean, it should be very much doable when you got to play a 9-1 coming into the 4th round. They might be able to get a couple of rounds on the bounce, and that is definitely the kind of momentum you want to build on the attacking side, because we know how strong they can be on defense here.
4 members are going to burst straight through middle, though. Turco will at least get 1, but the rest of this crew, they're not going to be able to find anything. Pora, the last remaining player. I don't think actually Latex knows he is to his left, and the rest is just going to retreat over to B and get the plant, but it doesn't matter. Latex will eventually turn back on Pora. Just a very quick round from Prodigy. Quite rightly so, just trying to do a little bit of something with a throwaway round. You never know, you might be able to catch one player off guard, pick up a rifle, and then do something with said rifle. Do see 3 ultimates available on the side of Fabriken. Orbital Strike there. Showstopper available as well, so that can be very influential. And of course, Rolling Thunder. So 3 decent ultimates for pushing onto a site. Defensively, Prodigy also have a Showstopper and an Orbital Strike of their own, so post-plan is going to be interesting here. Lots of zoning possibilities with these ults too.
Pora dancing with the devil inside the aftershock there. Rolling Thunder going to come out. It's not going to catch anybody, but it is going to zone them off. Orbital Strike going to close off Wood there. And that is going to stop the push into B long. 3 members over here to defend the B site, or counter Orbital Strike actually going to clear out elbow, but there is 1 player, Turco, just tucked away in the corner there with a Vandal. And there you go, he's going to find the first one. Rhyme's going to find 2 as well, but 3 kills going back over in favor of Fabriken. Now Spike is down on the ground, not planted just yet. Let's see if they can recover this attack.
Just a little bit of cross, but it hasn't worked out for them. Prodigy did so much better defensively that now they had some weapons to work with. But Fabriken still did have a couple of Bulldogs here or there, so it was kind of a round they knew it was potential they were going to throw away. They valued their economy over the round, and now it means they will get a full buy. Op available on Shadow, and I'm interested to see this Shadow versus Lucker matchup again. They've both been so good with the op today.
Wait, that's the same knife-bearing bunny from Ascent with a bandana.
It's almost like he's haunting you at this point, isn't he? Following you around.
Not as much as the monkeys from Haven.
Oh, they're, yeah, terrifying. More of a default approach now from Fabriken. Spread entirely across the map here, waiting to see if there's any sort of aggression from Prodigy. The information trying to be gathered from Lucker with the Owl drone. We'll go through the teleport. Will he actually catch the player to the left? No, he won't. Showstopper comes out and is fired into showers, but Lucker rips the kill away from him. And now Fabriken are down to just 4. And this is the only problem I feel with being patient and waiting for those picks, is that if you do find yourself a man down, it can be difficult, but at least Latex was able to get the one player in shadows. In showers. Shadows is an entirely different place. And now the spike can go down on A here. Hunter's Fury is available. And there is also a res here for Rhyme. There's 3 players around there in lamps. Has to be careful. He's going to wall himself over, it looks, but he also gets joined by a teammate. Zipan may caught a wind of this, though. Finds one, gets the spread on, can't get the second. Fabriken, they're just holding this so successfully, but as I say, that one falls, and it's a 2 versus 2. Pora is going to push in, see if he can find another. One player is in lamps and one in showers. Time is running out, so they have to get aggressive. Turco wins against Latex and gets the third.
Nice.
Huge kills from Turco. And just with milliseconds remaining, we'll put another one on the board for Prodigy.
Nice retake, though. Really good stuff so far. Again, tie game, 3-3. Not going to be too detrimental to the economy of Fabriken, but you can see for Prodigy, a couple of worrying numbers there.
So at 3-3, this is how we expected Bind to go, I think, between these two teams. Kind of taking one round away from each other at a time. He does get tagged and just desperately trying to avoid Hunter's Fury here, but not able to get away. That's what happens when you are tagged by the dart. So Lucker gets the opener. Hip gets one through the wall, and Lucker now with the op shot as well. Which means that Fabriken down to just the 2 remaining players. Meadow is at least made something of this round. And actually, Zipan makes this a possibility for Fabriken. Zipan and Meadow go back to a 2 versus 2. Prodigy do have the Resurrect available. So perhaps Fabriken will still continue to focus this A site because of that. If they were to just opt to go towards B, then it just gives up a free Resurrect potential. And you can see Rhyme edging his way out of heaven, thinking about it. Meadow on a slither of health. Means that it's still advantage Prodigy in this situation.
The one thing to consider, there is a showstopper as well, and Zipan's actually going to find his 3rd on the round. Rhyme will fall in heaven, and there you go, jumps straight up. He actually kills Meadow with his blast pack just to get the kill. And I'll allow it. I'll allow it in this one situation, Dan.
4-3 now for Fabriken. And they've got a lot of money to work with, whereas Prodigy, it's going to have to be an eco round for them. And the fact that they are just kind of going toe-to-toe here and trading round for round, and it is so close, it's difficult for either team to gain any momentum at the moment. Very back and forth and swingy, which means it's entirely unpredictable, which is always making it a better watch. Meadow gets the opener onto Turk. And Shadow will also follow onto Rhyme. So now Fabriken will have the man advantage, make that a 3-player advantage, pushing onto site. Hip will at least find the first onto Shadow for himself. We've seen him hit some insane Sheriff shots, but it's not going to continue here. And that's going to be the round going in favor of Fabriken. And now they're starting to put some more on the board here on this attacking side. And 5 rounds attacking on Bind, that's already good enough. And they'll be looking to make that more.
Yeah, really good stuff so far from Fabriken again. I've said it before, but they look so much more decisive now, Dan. That first game of the day, maybe there was a little bit of a factor to consider coming in cold, but you know, as soon as they're getting an entry now onto sites, they're acting on it, and they generally look a lot better set up. That you can see now they're not going for a default setup. They're not looking for picks. They're going for these executes, playing off the owl drone this time around. You're going to see default smokes come down. Now Shadow going to try and set up a flashpoint for the boys to go in with. Latex with another sky smoke, and again, just the entry here is almost gifted to them. Lucker's actually going to pick Zipan off before the showstopper can get sent yet again. 3 players now all the way back in the defensive spawn, 2 stacked up towards heaven. And actually Turco's going to find Leo on a long flank there. He's going to find Latex as well. Now Meadow got to hold the 4 outside showers. He's going to play this little corner here. I don't think he got information on both of them, but Neural Theft going to get popped. That's going to force the peek out from Meadow. He's going to find Turco. Shadow now outside lamps with an operator. He's stuck inside 2 cages, and there you go. Lucker's going to push in and clean him up, and Prodigy will reply again, bringing the scoreline to 5-4.
Nice retake from Prodigy. Unfortunately for Fabriken, it just didn't quite work out on that occasion. Just not able to get the angles they would have liked in the post plant. Still just about money to buy up again for Fabriken though, so no real concern for them. 5-4. Again, if they can get 6, I mean, it's definitely a game at the moment that looks like it's going to go to a 6-6. It could go to a 12-12. It was the same as Split. Like these teams just look so close. The same on Ascent.
25 rounds.
Pora gets 2 frags early on. That's the perfect start for this round for Prodigy. They try and back off onto the site. They smoke themselves off so it can be a comfortable one, but Shadow says, well, I'm not going to make that comfortable for you. Sprays down and does a lot of damage to 2 of the players. Three versus 5 is very difficult on Bind. Because the rotate is so quick on a map like this, because of the teleporters, because of the quick access through the defender's side, it's not as easy as a map like Split, for example, in Ascent, where you can maybe take a site even when you are a couple of players down. But it does look like they're going to be opting to go towards B here, Hypok.
And a couple of tagged up players. You see Pora's going to get a heal, but Turco going to stay in glass. Now Latex going to come off, try and molly off inside the tube. The slow warp comes into Hookah. 28 seconds left on the clock. Trapwire getting popped, and the spy cam goes up as well. Turco's actually going to swing out, find the headshot on Shadow. That's going to put them down to 2, and Pora will pick up 2 headshots inside of Hookah, and that will be a tie game again, Dan. And now they're just trading blow for blow right now.
I believe you mean B window.
I don't think I do.
Well, Prodigy find their 5th, and they will make the money somewhat awkward here for Fabriken. Whilst there are a couple of rifles, there's also SMGs and Sheriffs. They will have enough money to buy in the final round, though, so we'll see what they can do in this round. Maybe they'll go for something a little bit funky. Unfortunately, the one area they've decided to stack is where the owl drone is, and I like that. I like one player actually just opting to face it, destroy it, before it sees multiple people. Flash comes out into showers, and the push will also follow. A lot of utility just being used to get into the showers, though. And Hip will get the spray down onto Latex. The showstopper comes through. Doesn't connect, but maybe a little bit of damage done. Orbital Strike also falls onto the site. Lucker gets one with the shock dart, and Hip also finding one with the Vandal. Which means this push was already tough for Fabriken, but it becomes even harder now. Even if Leo is going to hit a couple of shots with the Sheriff, it's just going to be down to the final remaining player of Meadow. 1 versus 4. Has a Vandal. I don't think he has much hope. Can go for it, of course, because they did have plenty of money going into the next round to buy up. Who knows? Maybe he could just world star them here, and that's the perfect start. Takes down Rhyme up in heaven, looks for the second, but Lucker just peeks out and gets the op. 6-5 for Prodigy now. And this has 6-6 written all over it.
It does indeed.
Can't wait for this to go to overtime.
Just to
just watch Mixwell cry.
Yeah, I mean, me and Dan are probably going to be the first two to cry, and it will be on camera, so it's definitely something to consider.
I'm regretting the fact that yesterday I used my triple espresso monster taurine drink.
You need to have another one in like a glass case that you need to
I don't have. Yeah, you just don't. It is time. Don't have one of those today. Maybe that's something I can try and order off Deliveroo. Who knows? But Fabriken certainly will want to put a 6th on the board rather than going into the second half 7-5 down. As I mentioned earlier, I still think 5 rounds is pretty good attacking on bind. They've been able to coordinate fairly well in some of the earlier rounds, and their executes haven't been bad. They do have ultimates to work with. Rolling Thunder and Orbital Strike being the key ones. Maybe Neural Theft can come in handy a little bit later on, but Prodigy have Hunter's Fury as a defensive ultimate, and of course the Resurrect on Sage too. Orbital Strike does come out. Maybe this is a little bit of a fake here because it has been sent towards A and the rest of the team is going to be bursting out towards B. They took a little bit of time, but Zipan does catch Pura with his pants down. Rhyme is going to be there on the defensive door, but tries to work his way out with a very intelligent wall. Unfortunately, Zipan was wise to it. Hunter's Fury there to try and deny the plant from Lucka. Shadow takes down Turco with the op. Now the rest of the squad will be on the site. Showstopper also popped now. Hip takes down Latex. From behind, Zipan trying to see if he can find anything. There is a player in Hookah. He will connect with that to get the 3K. And now it's just Lucka on the side of Prodigy. In a 1 versus 4 with a knock.
Oh, he found one.
But Zipan with the 4K to make it 6-6.
How absolutely predictable and vanilla of these guys to go blow for blow throughout the first half of this game.
I'm going to say it was going to be tough to separate them here, and I think that first half just demonstrates it. They are so evenly matched across the board. I mean, Zipan stepping up, 17 frags, fair play to him.
Yeah.
If he hadn't have stepped up like that, then Fabriken might find themselves a couple more rounds down here.
No, he's been slowly warming up all day, and it's fantastic to see him hit his stride now, coming towards the end. And again, when it matters as well. This is going to be an interesting second half of Bind.
So it is Prodigy's turn to show what they have attacking on Bind. And that was an interesting recon dart. Pura gets the opener onto Latex as well. The recon bolt will be destroyed. Leo just trying to hold lamps at the moment. Will come into contact with Rhyme, then quickly turns to the left. Going to get the shots off. No, he can't. Pura denies it. Pura had no right to survive in that particular gunfight. Boombot goes out from Zipan, but Turco denies him from getting there. And just look at this stack in U-Bend and lamps. They're all so congested, but it means that they can just play back to back and work with each other. And now Shadow in a 1 versus 3. They are weak. He's getting all this utility thrown at him. Does find the first, picks up the ghost, looks for the second, has the flash, but the flash unfortunately is his demise. As Prodigy get the opener here. I mean, how many times do you see that as well? In a 1vx situation, a player getting caught out because they've got their abilities out. Always seems to be breach players as well.
It happens to Sage a lot, I'd say. You usually get Sage with her hands above her head, casting an orb of some description.
And I wonder whether that is down to just kind of what game you played before you transitioned into Valorant. Like, are CS players less likely to find themselves in that situation because they rely maybe a bit more on their gun skill? Because once your utility's gone in CS, you're very much used to pushing onto a site without it. Lucka gets Meadow with the shock dart. Fabriken going to have to try and hold here with just mere classic pistols, or at least that's all Shadow has anyway. He's in a good spot, but the blast packs are just, I mean, that shock darts and blast packs that have been able to get the first 2 frags. If we'll get the 4th, as Lâcher found the 3rd, and I mean, this round was always going to be a bit of a formality, as Fabriken didn't try and do anything particularly special. They didn't force up either. Real question is, Hypoc, can Prodigy take this momentum now? Can they pick up this 3rd round and maybe look to put a dent into Fabriken's hopes of getting to this grand final?
I mean, this is the thing. If they can hold Fabriken here, we've seen what happened in the previous game. 4 Spectres on the board for Prodigy right now, so, and it doesn't look like they're going to do anything too crazy. 4 stacked up towards short, and you got that Cypher lurking showers again.
Well, here comes the quick push onto a site. Zipan, though, is there, and he holds, and he manages to get 1. Can't quite get the 2nd, though. At least Leo has found Pora elsewhere, but Turco with the SMG just kind of walking and spraying, and finds another onto Meadow. So difficult to hit a moving target sometimes, but at least Leo has got the 3K. Shadow finished things off onto Turco, and Fabriken put their first on the board in this half to make it a 7. And not too much damage done to their economy.
No. Again, 4 Spectres on the board, so they're going to bounce right back from that, and they're going to put an operator in the hands of Lâcher, who, for the last 2 maps, hasn't been the same Lâcher from yesterday.
I mean, maybe he set the bars up quite high, to be fair, with how he was performing, and he's still playing well. Maybe he still has a little bit left in the tank. There's been a lot of Valorant to be played for these teams. I mean, we started when? 2 o'clock we started today, so 7.5 hours of action for these guys to go through. I mean, even on the side of G2, even though they haven't necessarily been playing that whole time, they're still waiting around and kind of watching, maybe researching, depending on how much respect they have.
I was going to say, we've still potentially got like 2.5 hours for the finals.
Quite possibly. I mean, if it went all the way and it was all 5 games, Shadow takes down Pora through the wall, just the corner of it. Fabriken have the player advantage, and Prodigy have to reassess. These kind of slow attacks on both sides just haven't worked.
No,
at the same time, when both teams have tried to burst onto sites, they've been met by sheer force of the opposition. So it kind of gets you second guessing yourself. Should we or shouldn't we? They are going to move over to B, though. With only 19 seconds left, though, it's going to have to be a very explosive push. Orbital Strike is going to be used just to try and force anyone off the site. Whoever has the bomb is going to have to plant it, and have to plant it soon. Spike is going to go down.
If they deny the plant now, it's, I was going to say, didn't hear it there. Showstopper's going to get popped. Shadow still inside elbow. Meadow looking for an angle onto Rhyme. He's in glass. Showstopper gets sent through to defensive spawner. Doesn't find anything. Now, we're going to see everybody stack up, and that Sky Smoke's going to buy a lot of time for these guys. 2 players stacked on site and 2 down towards long with a spy cam to play for as well. Lâcher holding the angle with the operator. Rhyme finds 1. Leo finds 2. In return, finds a 3rd as well. This is absolutely huge from Leo. Now, just the 1 member, Turco, finds 1 headshot, but Shadow will close that one out. And that there is a very, very good retake.
Yeah,
really impressive stuff.
So I would expect that. At the same time, Prodigy kind of walked onto site fairly comfortably, considering how late it was in the round. But I think Fabriken, as soon as they heard all those footsteps, they said, look, we've got the player advantage. Let's just back off a little bit, allow them to have the site, and then we'll go for the retake. And now Prodigy will be back down to a weak buy. Excuse me, Fabriken are going to have this chance now at 8-8. As the colours, once
The
again.
the colours switched up on you, didn't they?
Casting Valorant is like casting in extra hard mode sometimes. So much gets thrown at you when you least expect it. Meadow has a decent camera here to give a lot of information.
He's going to get a lot of it as well.
Meadow gets the first. Shadow follows up with a second hit. Might have been able to do something with the paint shells at the very least. And Pora has been able to worm his way into Elbow, but he just walked straight into the bullet of Latex. And all down to Turco. A Sheriff in a dream. Gets hit in the back by the paint shells as well. That's a little bit annoying. Takes a little bit of his life total away. As Latex still just firmly holding this angle.
He's looking for a ladder.
Don't get the reference.
It's not even going to explain it to us. That's the,
No,
that's the
it's
sad
not.
thing. Just leave us waiting.
Well, do you want me to go at length?
Nope.
Speaking of waiting, here you go. Zipan's patience will finally pay off.
You see, because he wanted to leave, you understand? So maybe a ladder would have gotten him out of that sticky situation he found himself in, you understand? Listen, they can't all be gems, all right? I'm trying to help you out. I know it's been a long day, and my efforts are going unrewarded. I'm going back to sleep.
Sleep well, my prince.
We'll see you after the 2-hour overtime. We're going to get Moses.
You're presuming overtime is going to work. 9-8 in favor of Fabriken. And Prodigy need to be careful that they don't fall too far behind now here on their attacking side. If Fabriken can continuously reset their economy, things can become more difficult for Prodigy. Will force their backs against the wall and they'll have to pull something out on one of these eco rounds eventually. 2 players are going to be working their way into showers. Zipan is going to be there waiting though, aloft on top of the boxes. Always such a tricky situation to try and face, because if you instantly push out of showers and face that, you're so vulnerable to various different angles on the site. Not only can Zipan cover showers, but he also has this angle on lamps too. At the moment, no one from Prodigy has been brave enough to really try and take any map control here, aside from a little bit of hookah has been controlled, but as I say that's instantly given up anyway.
And now, actually, you're going to see a push out onto a short. 4 players of Fabriken can come around and stack up, try and defend this. Latex in heaven with the operator. Hunter's Fury popped elsewhere. Leodeds is going to find Turco, but the spike, meanwhile, was headed all the way over to Hookah, and there's only 1 player over that side of the map to defend the site. And it's going to be Meadow. He's going to find 1. He's going to find 2. That's fantastic work from him. And again, Lucker will fall just outside. And there you go. Fabriken will tie that one up. Little bit of a decoy play sent over towards A site, Dan, but initially they took the bait, but Meadow holds the fort on B site.
Well, Fabriken with plenty of money. What is going on here? Are the colors now right? Am I going insane?
I'm tending not to look at the colors, Dan.
The scoreboard
I'm gonna be
hates
honest.
me.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna start just forgetting people's names and what team they play for very shortly. But in the meanwhile, we do have 4 players stacked up on B long, and then a lone raise up towards Hookah. A couple of sheriffs in hand. Sky Smoke blocking off the archway right now, but that spy cam from Meadow doing what it does best. The cage will get popped here, and a couple of players inside it. The Molotov will come out. He's going to find 1. Only 1, though. Pora's going to trade that out. Neural Theft gets popped, and they get site control. Rhyme's going to get Lucker back on his feet, and Spike will go down on site here.
Hip has the judge, and he is on site. He can be a very dangerous man right now. Leo is going to be the first one to walk into the circle of doom that is the crosshair. Hip, oh my goodness, going on a tear, finds a Zipan as well. Shadow finally shuts him down. It's 3 versus 3. The other 3 players have very firmly backed their way off site. And there is going to be a Hunter's Fury available, so I'm expecting that to be popped now, which it is. The tap was there from Shadow. Turco takes him down, and they're slowly but surely running out of time here. So they're thrifty from Prodigy, despite the fact they were on very poor money. Means they keep themselves in this game. Otherwise, Fabriken would have started to run away from things, I feel.
Yep, and they want to drag this one out. Surprisingly enough, Dan. But
Overtime.
next
Overtime.
next round we're gonna see, and
imagine how hard it is for these guys. Imagine how tired they must be. It's been a long day for these players, man.
yeah, it has. Yeah. But back into it. We have 3 players pushing towards A short here. Sky Smoke down right now, covering off the line of sight. So we do have, I'm assuming, an operator back in heaven. You can see how far he's tucked away in the corner. Actually, Zipan's going to find Lucka in the showers. And here you go. That's actually going to be the go signal. The default Sky Smoke's full. 1 player moved across towards the teleport. He actually gets tagged up on the recon bolt there. Rhyme's got to be careful. Default wall will go down. He's down to 27 HP, and he's already used his heal. Maybe a little prematurely. Hip going to bait out with the fake plant, and Latex will pop the orbital strike, and that's going to find one. Hip, in the meantime, sends it all the way through Hooker, and they're going to go for a little B push here, potentially. Or maybe just throw down the fake. You see they're slowly going to pull back here.
Well, with Pora finding one on the A site, he's not able to reposition himself, as Leo is now going to be in the prime spot to watch short. And he's saying, look, they might be cubby here. Just as he pulls out his utility, though. The smoke comes down. Does tag one with the recon bolt. If he's going to try and get this spike down again, orbital strike is going to be there to try and deny, but Leo, through the orbital strike, has denied the plan, and Fabriken are going to go 11-9 up now. I like the creativity from Prodigy. I like they've tried something a little bit different there, going for the little bit of a fake. Unfortunately, the initial tap of the spike the first time round meant that we just saw the demise of Rhyme, because he had found his way into boxes.
He
was like, oh, brilliant.
Dark.
Yeah, thanks for baiting out the orbital strike, buddy.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see light up all of a site when you're only at about 25 HP stuck behind dark box.
Well, money bad again for Prodigy. So can they come up with something a little bit skew with here to try and catch Fabriken off guard? The info's already been had that there were players down B long. There is a showstopper available for Hip here. And sometimes a showstopper can be enough just to initiate a push and get a frag, sometimes 2. Rhyme wants to get up close and personal with this shorty, that's for sure. So we need someone else really to be the peeker, but instead he's the one who does peek. Showstopper is going to be popped and pushed onto site, but no frags found. Oh, as I say that, someone found a frag just before his rocket was able to touch the floor. Poro takes down Shadow as well. So guns have been found here for Prodigy. Maybe something to work with. Just the one Phantom at the moment. Latex coming here through elbow. Does get the spray down onto Turk. Pora will reply, and there is Pora with that Phantom.
That's
what a set of kills.
Huge win there for Prodigy. That would have put Fabriken on match point. And it's none other than your man Pora, who time and time again has just been winning 1v1s all over the place. And he won 2 important ones right there.
Several times now, not just this game, but other games as well. Fabriken, when they've had the advantage and they've had the economic advantage, Prodigy have just been able to pin them back with a thrifty. Gotta say, it just shouldn't be able to happen that successfully.
Overtime.
But it does mean we are edging closer and closer towards overtime.
Oh, I love edging towards overtime.
All right.
Yep, that's where we're at.
21 kills for both Zipan and Shadow at the moment. Turco and Hip have been stepping up on the other side. Meadow is going to go for an aggressive peek here, and the flash helps him, but he's not able to get the double spray down, and Hip has gone huge there. Meadow and Shadow, unfortunately, are on the receiving end of just an impressive spray down from him. But here comes Latex maybe to save the day, but unfortunately, he was spotted out by the recon bolt as Hip gets a third with his paint shells. Leo trying to go for the spray down here, but he is again just going to be met by sheer force of Hip. They're here on elbow. The 2 versus 3 tries to go for the spray down to Zipan. Has no right to be able to get that kill. He does make it a 2v2, however they are both low. It's going to be pretty awkward to try and push back onto this site. Although with both players retreating too long, means at the very least one player can face and one player can stick here. Unfortunately, they line up perfectly for Lucker as he gets the 2 for 1. And we're at 11-11.
Overtime.
Brilliant.
However, I have to be the bearer of bad news, in that the new overtime rules are not enabled for this game.
Who's to blame this time?
Yeah, whose fault was it? In fact, no, that's not name and shame. It's not name and shame this time.
It was Hypog. It's Hypog's fault.
Yeah, I'm definitely not hosting the lobby. That's not on me.
Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. That's all I'm going to say. I would like to see this one won by 2 rounds.
I'd like to see the sun come up in Hypog's window again.
Well, you know, maybe if we have a long best-of-5 series, we'll see that.
Well, I'm being told that the overtime should be enabled for that best of 5, so
Yes.
I mean, it's still possible. I mean, you already saw the sun come up on my webcam last time we worked together, Moses, but that was a North American tournament, so it was slightly different.
Yeah, it's 2:46 in the afternoon here. I'm just about to have my second coffee of the day. I'm
If it
doing
happens
good.
in a European tournament, then that would be someone else. But here we go then. What do Prodigy have to offer at 11-11?
I mean, they've got a 5v2 situation potentially over here. Rhyme has waltzed his way all the way out shower, and nobody has spotted this. He might actually be able to backstab Zipan here, and that would be a fantastic opening. There you go. Slow orb going to get sent up towards Leo, and he's not going to have an opportunity to peek out. No recon bolt for 5 seconds, so we can't utilize that sky smoke. Spike will go down towards default, and this is a really tricky situation now for Fabriken. It's a 4v5 retake. Right now, they're all stacked up in the defender's spawn.
Spike beeping away. Lucker has his recon bolt available to him. And come out from the other side as Rolling Thunder will be thrown onto the site. And now here come Fabriken. They're starting to speed things up as the beeping becomes a little bit faster as Shadow finds one. He will now push towards this smoke in cubby. Lucker is going to be there on the right. Shadow gets another. Doesn't get the spray down on the third. Hip and Poor have done enough maybe. There's the Molotov as well just to stop any sort of deny on the fuse. And Prodigy will take a 12-11 lead and will be on match point now. And 1 round closer to facing off against G2.
Okay.
Overtime.
I mean, still a possibility. We've got full buys across the board, but you got to argue now 3 in a row. Prodigy, they got a bit of steam behind them.
Ye's in the chat for overtime, by the way.
Yeah. Spam 1 in chat if you want to see an overtime map before the G2 final.
Spread thin across the map are Prodigy yet again, 2-1-2. Whereas it's more of a heavy focus towards B for Fabriken on the defensive side. So we've got Hunter's Fury and Neural Theft on the one side, and then the Showstopper and Neural Theft on the other. And from what we've seen, actually, in this tournament so far. Hunter's Fury has actually been more impactful than Showstopper 9 times out of 10.
It really has. It really has. We've seen some fantastic Sova play actually, and you know, shout out to players like Xiao, Leo. Looked really, really good. Because now we're going to see Spike rotating all the way through the attacking spawn here. Going to get sent over towards the B site where there is 3 defenders right now. And 1 man in the form of Meadow inside the pipe. And he's got his spy cam above long. So he's not going to know anything about Pora coming down here. This could get tricky.
They have the res available to them. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Latex have got the opener, but Showstopper popped. And Latex will be taken down. But here comes Meadow through the smoke to clear up Hip. And now there's just going to be the 3 members of Prodigy. And is there enough time to get the res? That's the real question. Is there even enough time to get the plant? It's down to just 2. Make that 1. And only 8 seconds left. And this is going to be really tough just to get the plant down, let alone get 2 kills. And he falls. We're going to overtime. 12-12. Nothing to separate these two after 24 rounds. But it is just going to be the single round of overtime.
Overtime. Overtime.
Where do you see this one going, Hypok?
Well, I was talking about momentum, and Fabriken have pretty much just put a big blockage in the way. They've stopped it, and you could argue that they've still had a better defensive side than Prodigy have had on attack. Again, that's just purely based on round count. Because they strung together 4 in a row, even though it's 6-6 on the half. Again, everything tied up. They've definitely looked better, I'd say, on defense. You're going to see 3 players stacked up towards showers here. Actually, 4. We only got the Cypher lurk elsewhere, and we are going to have 3 defenders over towards A site. You can see the utility about to explode out of showers. And I think this is going to be an all-out brawl here, Dan.
That it is, and here comes all the utility now. Slows, and the wall is available there. Leo's going to be the first point in defense. Zipan takes down Pora, who was coming for that flank, but Rhyme has been able to get 1, make that 2, finds Shadow as well. And even though Rhyme has had a pretty poor game thus far, those could be 2 very impactful frags as the spike goes down. He tries to retreat into showers, if he can get past the wall, which he does. Turco uses the rest of the smokes available. Zipan takes down Hip, and Zipan gets a 3rd. Zipan is an absolute beast. Now he has another grenade to work with, and a showstopper as well in OT. But no one is going to be there. He's going to have to wait. Latex is going to hold. He gets it halfway. Lucka finds 1. Rhyme gets 1 as well. Can he get the spray down here? No, he can't. Rhyme with the 4K. And Rhyme has gone huge in the final round of the game. I mean, he was on 7 kills before we went into OT there. I cannot believe he's pulled that off.